Hey everyone, it's Terry over at Decorating More with Tip. It is scorching hot here in Alabama. I don't know how it is in your parts of the world, but here it's so hot that we are just staying indoors, and it's giving me a chance of working on some crafts that I want to share with you. One of them, anyway, today, I have a very close friend that requested me to make a wreath using insulation piping. So I went to Lowe's and I purchased a 6-foot length of insulation piping. Now, insulation piping has a slit down the center of the pipe or the tube, and it has stickiness on each side of the ends, I guess. So when you put it on in the pipe, you can take that plastic off and they will stay securely together. But I cut my piping at 44 inches long because that's the size I need for my wreath, but you can make it as large as you want. But I wanted at least a 16-inch in diameter wreath. Now, when cutting your wreath so that it will form a nice end to where they will meet together nicely, I cut angles at each end. On one end of the tube, I cut an angle going to where the longer parts are at the bottom, just like you would cut a ribbon. And on the other end, I cut to where the long part of the slant is up on top. So you want to do the opposite of each other. Goes like this. So you want it where they're both opposite. So when you turn your piping into where they touch each other, there's a really nice way to connect them without having any kind of bulk. So you're going to need the size of tubing you want. They come in 6-foot. I think they come in different sizes, but I just grabbed the 6-foot and cut mine at 44 inches long, and that makes a 16-inch wreath. I am going to use part of the the spare or the cutoff piece. I'm going to be using that too because I want my wreath just a little bit thicker than what this provides. But if you don't want to get the piping, use a noodle. One of the pool noodles, that would work perfect as well, and then you won't have to worry about the seam here. Also, for my wreath, I am going to need some duct tape, or you just need any kind of heavy-duty tape to secure your wreath together. So we're just going to make a circle out of this. And another tip that I want to share with you, because I've did it both ways, make sure that the seam of your pipe, if you're using insulated piping and not a pool noodle, make sure that it's on the outside of your wreath and not inside, because if you do it on inside, well, let's just do it this way. If we do it to where the seam is on the outside of your wreath, it forms a really nice circle. But if you do it where the seam is on the inside and you turn it, it doesn't. It seems like it bows out. So just make sure your seam, if you're using a pipe insulation, make sure your seam is on the outside of your wreath, and then you just connect the ends together, forming a nice circle, and we'll worry about the shape in a minute. Woo! I'm just going to take, if I can find the end of this thing, because it's a new piece of tape. Let's see, there it is. Okay, so I'm going to take a good amount of duct tape and getting ready to form my wreath. All right, so I got it together, and I am just going to take the duct tape and start wrapping it around the ends of my tubing to form a connection. Now, I've seen people where they put plastic in this inside of their tubing to help connect the two. I am not going to do that. I didn't seem having a problem with connecting the two since I did it at an angle. So I'm just going to make sure I have it securely connected with my duct tape. So I have my wreath all formed. It forms a really nice circle as long as you keep the seams on the outside of your tube. So to make mine a little bit thicker, I am taking the other part that I cut off and I cut it in half. And you don't have to cut it in half, but I kind of just wanted 1.5 1.5 of the width of the pipe to make it a little bit thicker. So what I'm going to do with that is take some more duct tape and just combine the two together so they stay pretty secure. I'm not going to wrap it all the way. I'm just going to wrap the ends of the tube and maybe on the center. Because I'm going to wrap, I'm not too concerned about that because I'm going to wrap some ribbon around this to cover the piping. So you're not going to see the duct tape or anything, and I think it'll hold it nice and sturdy. So now we have our wreath. And it is, let me check, I think it is a 16-inch. Yes, a 16-inch wreath, so that works out perfect. Now I am going to put my tape away. I am going to get out some ribbon, and I am using this navy buffalo check. It comes in 10 yards. I found it on Amazon. And I am just going to start wrapping it around my wreath form. And you want to do it nice, but not too tight where it starts bowing. So you just want to cover. I'm not even going to hot glue it or tape it on because I just overlapped the ends. Because I might want to take it off and use this ribbon for something else, for another project. But if you know you're not going to be taking the wreath apart, if you want it forever and ever and ever, then go ahead and just hot glue your ribbon onto your wreath. But it's not a necessary thing to do. But if you want to, you go right ahead. So I'm just wrapping this all the way around my wreath form. Now the insulated piece, the 6-foot piece that I bought, and I purchased it at Lowe's, it cost around, I want to say, $1.28. So if you go to the Dollar Tree or if you go to Dollar General, you probably could find your noodle, if you use a noodle, for less than that, for $1. But I don't know if it might be a perfect size and you wouldn't have to add to it or whatever. But I was asked to do a insulated pipe wreath, and that is what I'm doing. So, but you can use that pool noodle. I've used the pool noodles for a Christmas project last year, making faux birch logs. So I love having options. So if you don't want to make a wreath and you have noodles, check out my blog where I make the birch logs, because it's coming up that season where you can make some beautiful logs out of the noodles. So I'm just wrapping the wreath until I get it completely covered. And then I will have to add some hot glue to hold that in place. I looked online for a lot of tutorials on insulated pipe wreaths, and I could not find as many as I thought there would be out there. There was a lot of noodles, and I lost my ribbon. Hold on. There was some wreaths on the pool noodles, but not as much as I thought there would be either. So we're just gonna make our own little inspirational wreath, and hopefully you'll like this. I love the navy buffalo chip. I like the black, but blue's my color. All right, so I have my wreath all covered in that ribbon. Is that not? Oh, I just love the navy. So what I'm going to do is I'm cutting enough to wrap it to where it's either the back or the side, and I'm just adding some glue to the end and then making sure it is sealed. So we have our wreath all covered, and it looks like it's a really nice form. And I would say I probably used maybe 7 yards of the ribbon, maybe 7 or 8, probably 7. So we're going to be making some bows, a bow for my wreath. So you're going to need at least, just get 10 yards if you make this 16-inch wreath. Start dressing it up just like it is a regular wreath. What I did is I had a wooden letter. I just painted it navy, and I will be tacking this onto the wreath with hot glue, just like that. I'll just touch a little bit here and here and here. So I'm just going to use my hot glue and make sure I get it to where it is touching. And a little dab here. Spider webs, the glue webs. Make sure that it's cool before we move on to the next. So I just glued it on just a little bit with some hot glue. And what I'm going to do now is take some greenery. I've got some lamb's tongue or lamb's ear, however you want to say that. I am going to use 3 of these white, beautiful silk roses and 2 of these Dollar Tree lavender bundles. I purchased these maybe a year ago, and I just never used them. I didn't know what I was going to use them for, but I think they look really good with the navy, so I'm going to be using those. And I did buy the lamb's tongue several years ago at the Dollar Tree. I don't know if they have any more of these, but I used them on other projects. You could tell I cut them. So what I'm going to do is I am going to decorate my wreath on the side here, and I'm going to put a cute little bow here, but you can do it on the bottom, you can do it on the top, or you can leave it just like this. But I kind of want to dress mine up just a little bit, and I'm going to take, the first one I'm going to take is this bundle, you know, from the Dollar Tree, and I am just going to spread it out just a little bit, taking each of the stems and just kind of giving them a little bit of life so they just don't look like they're stuck together. And I am going to wrap with floral wire, and I am using 60 gauge floral wire. I will do that after I add both of the greenery to my wreath. And again, I'm going to take the Dollar Tree bundle and just kind of spread them out just a little bit. And I'm going to add this one. The first one will be going up, and the next one I am going to be facing it down. So it's going to look like that. I love the purple with the blue. It's just really pretty. So I am going to leave them there just for a moment before I add those all together. Maybe I will add them so I can know where I'm going to put the other stuff. So I'm just going to take a piece of my wire, snip it off, and take the wire and wrap both stems around my wreath so that they're securely on the wreath without moving. I don't want to touch them with hot glue because if I want to reuse them in a different arrangement, the glue is kind of hard to get off of the greenery. So I'm just going to use wire. And I think that I'm going to secure it a little bit better on each of the petals now. I'm just going to take it and grab just one of the stems up here and wrap it onto my wreath that way. And tighten it up. Twisting it, make sure that it's good and tight. I will probably use a little bit of my, just so that I can wrap it tightly. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other bundle. Just taking a piece and catching it on one of the stems at the very top of my lavender bundle and wrapping it around the wreath so it's secure that way. I just don't want to use hot glue, but if you want to use hot glue, you go right ahead. That would secure it too. I just like to reuse my items for a different project if I can. Unless I know I'm not going to ever want to change it up, then I will make it permanent. So I'm just taking my pliers and tightening up the wire. So I have, if you can see it, I have this one going this way and this one going down. And now I am going to take the silk roses, and I think I purchased these at, I want to say at Michael's for my front door last summer. I had a basket with some blues in there, and these were one of the roses that I used for that arrangement. I am going to take my flowers and put them in the wire that I just wrapped around to secure the lavender, and I am just going to tack it on inside of the wire with the lavender bundle so I don't have to use glue. I'm doing 2 on the top. Can you see? I just added it into the wire of the lavender, and I'm going to add another one. I'm going to add some hot glue to this because I don't have a wire there. So I'm going to add this to the stem so it doesn't go on my ribbon or my greenery. Ensure that rose is on there pretty good. So I got those 2, and I'm going to put the next one right here. I'm going to leave this space here for my ribbon. So I'm going to put it down somewhere there. So I'm going to use some glue and glue it on to the lavender. Make sure that holds. Whoops, sorry. So now I have the 3 roses on, oops, spider web. Now I have room for my bow, and I am going to use my lamb's tongue after my ribbon, just to make sure that to fill in for some fillers. Now on my ribbon I am going to leave about an 8-inch tail, and I'm going to show you again. I shared the tutorial on my Facebook page, I think it was back Christmas, last Christmas, but I will share it with you again. It's just my loop bow. You pinch your ribbon in your hands on your pointer finger and your thumb. Pinch it, like gather it together and pinch it. Take your working ribbon and make, for this one, I think I'm going to make about a 4-inch loop. Gather it, put it in your thumb and your pointer again, and then you're going to turn it where the pattern is towards you. So the pattern is facing you, and the other side is facing opposite. Make your 4-inch loop, gather it, hold the piece in your fingers, turn the pattern towards you again, and make another loop, pinch it, and then you're going to turn it. To always turn the pattern towards you when you're working on your ribbon. Try to get your ribbon, your bows, the same loop size. Turn the pattern towards you. Make one more bow. I'm going to make a 5-loop bow for this one, and I'm going to leave my tail about 8 inches on this side as well. Take my 60 gauge wire and tie it in the center of my bow, twist it, and then what I like to do is I hold my ribbon in my hand, and then I just turn the wire, and it gets it to be really tight. And then always fluff, 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 fluff. I can't stress that enough. Fluff your loops so that your bow is really pretty. And then fix your tails. So I am going to add my ribbon. I have my wire long enough to where I can wrap it around the wreath. And I'm going to put my ribbon in between my 2 flowers right here. My 3 flowers, sorry. Right here on the side of the wreath. And I am just going to twist it onto the form. And I'll cut the wires when I'm done. And we're going to fluff our ribbon. Make sure that our tails aren't hiding our... This is when my wreath stand, my wreath board comes into play, and I didn't get it out. All right, I'm just going to take the one tail and put it behind my flowers and kind of just play with it a little bit, and then try to fix my bow the way I want it to be fixed. And then the other tail, I'm just going to bring it around in the back of my lavender. So I'm going to sit down and try to see it. And I'll share it with you what I do after I fluff it. It's kind of hard to do it. All right. Now, I have my bow sort of the way I want it. I need a lot of fluffing. I like my ribbons fluffed. I had a mosquito on my arm. They find me. I don't know why. I'm really bad about getting bit. Okay, so now taking the lamb's tongue, lamb's ear, and using these as fillers, I am looking at my wreath to see if I need any areas to fill. And I notice right here, I don't like that bare spot. So I am going to take a lamb's tongue and I'm going to stick it in the wire where I wrapped the other flowers in, and just kind of fill in that gap. And we'll play with it, but that just kind of filled it in just a little bit to kind of fill in that space that I didn't like showing. And I am going to, looks like I don't like this right here, so I'm going to add some lamb's tongue to that through the wire that's already on the wreath. And like I said, you can hot glue this if you feel the need to keep it. And I just added that there. And I'm just kind of looking. There's a place right here. Can you see me? There, I don't like this place, so I'm going to add a little lamb's tongue to that. Just right at the top here. Make sure I get it inside a wire. You can see, got that. And I have two left, and I think I'm going to just stick them in the end here. Just to fill it up just a little bit. And do one on the top right here. And there's my wreath. And I'll fix the bow a little better, fluffing it, and the greenery. We're going to fluff the greenery. But that is, I just think it's so cute. I love the purple. Would have never thought about using lavender with the navy, but I really do like how it looks. So that is my insulated pipe wreath. So I probably will fluff it just a little bit when I hang it on my bifold door in the living room. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a great day. And Rand, thank you for requesting me to make this. This was a lot of fun. Hope you have a great day, and God bless.